not gonna find that in anybody else. And also his zodiac sign is compatible with mine. Bitch, no. Because you didn't even look up his birth chart. All you did was look up his sun sign. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars. Please, look up the big six. Fuck. Have I taught you nothing? I know most people would think, oh, well, that's a cute date. Lauren London and Nipsey did that. Yeah, Lauren London and Nipsey also have fucking millions of dollars, and they probably were riding around in like a Rolls Royce. I was riding around in a fucking Honda Civic. I'm not trying to talk bad about people. I know God says not to do that. But like, I'm just tired sometimes of being humble when it comes to the people I used to date. I found out about that shit on Thanksgiving. This is basically is gonna be like me like oversharing times like a million. So anyway, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel.
Hello stranger, it's been a minute since we last kicked. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let you miss cry.
This is gonna get taken the fuck off. How are you? What is up? And if you are new to my channel, girl, where have you been? Where have you been? I've been waiting for you to discover my channel so you can sit here and you can just like hang out, do your makeup with me, do your skincare, get over your cry over your ex-boyfriend, like whatever you gotta do, we can do it together. So where have you been? Rude. But anyways, y'all, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing super well. Today's video is going to be, I had a whole other video planned out today. I was gonna do part 3 of the daycare story time, or I was gonna do like another Q&A video, and I was like, you know what, something popped up on my memories of my growth. Okay, this time last year I was a whole different person. I definitely was not practicing what I was preaching. I definitely was getting myself into some messy situations with some men, and it was just a whole entire mess. And this year I just feel like I have grown so much as a person because I had something really crazy happen to me this time last year on my birthday that made me wake up and be like, girl, get your shit together, like get it together, because this is not, no, like we're not bringing this into 2022. This was my mindset last year, right? I woke up and I changed, and your girl, which by the way, yes, I did that.
And you would do it too for a check.
No, this is not a Stanley. You guys know how I am. You know I hate doing shit when like literally everybody else is doing it. So I got this from TJ Maxx. It was only $16. It is so cute. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm not judging you. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to be kind of doing like, I don't really know, I guess like a story time. I don't really know what this is gonna be. Like a chit chat, get ready with me, do your makeup with me. Let me tell you a story about something crazy that happened to me this time last year. I don't really know what the video is, you guys. I really don't understand. But the reason I wanted to do this video is because your girl, may or may not have gone out on a date a couple days ago. Not too much, y'all, not too much, okay? I'm gonna tell you a story about that too, but it made me put things into perspective of like, if he wanted to, he would.
Period.
Because I thought about like the men that I was dating this time last year.
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
There's no comparison. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, regardless, get your wine, get your snacks, get your popcorn, get your hydro flasks, get whatever the hell you need, okay? I'm about to take my vitamins. Yes, I love these. It's not sponsored, by the way. But it is on my Amazon storefront if you want to purchase them. Just go into the link in my bio. We'll say like podcast/Amazon links. And these vitamins will tell you like what day it is. Like I just see right here, it says Tuesday. Morning one and a night one. So it divides your vitamins by morning and night. It's cute. Like how aesthetically pleasing is this? Yes, bitch. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. You ain't got no will. You ain't got no bottle. Done with this conversation, y'all. So if you don't remember, literally this time last year, well, okay, let me just explain to you the mindset that I was in. So October of 2021, I got my heart ripped out of my chest, fucking 5 times 5,000, bitch, okay? Times 5,000. And if you want to look that story, if you're new here, which you're probably not, the video is called Telling My Heartbreak Story. After that happened, I became a whole completely different person. Like, I don't know what it was, but I felt like I lost all like I was a mess, you guys. I was a freaking mess. I feel like I just lost all sense of like the executive functioning. Like I just didn't know how to like go back to being the person that I once was. Like I literally could not tell you. Like I don't know what it was. After that, I was like, you know what? I just need to stay single. I need to stay single. I need to get myself back together. I need to get, you know, just my life back on track type of thing. So what happens every single time you say that, right? Every time you say that, God and the universe will be like, are you sure? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send somebody over to you. I'm going to make them super hot. I'm going to make them everything that, you know, you think you've ever wanted. And then what's going to happen is they're going to like royally screw you over. It's going to make for a great story time, Dakota. It's going to make for amazing content. Like, don't worry about that. This is basically is going to be like me like oversharing times like a million. So anyway, October goes by, November goes by, find out that my ex is back with his previous person that he was dating that I had nothing to worry about. It's always the ones that you have nothing to worry about. I was a fucking mess, okay? I found out about that shit on Thanksgiving. I feel like I look like, hello! On Thanksgiving, I found out that they were back together, and like all my friends were like sending me pictures. And because keep in mind, he told me he was breaking up with me to work on himself. He didn't tell me that he was breaking up with me because he wanted to get back with her or like whatever. He was like, I'm working on myself.
I can't be with somebody right now.
Why the fuck you lying?
I was also in the hospital dying from COVID. Literally, I was dying. I'm not kidding. I couldn't breathe. I think it's essential for everyday life. You need it to survive. Okay, cool. So glad that we had that anatomy lesson together. I'm also a teacher, if you didn't know. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay single. I'm going to work on myself. We're going to go back to the gym. We're going to get our skincare right. We're going to eat healthy. We're going to glow up to the point where people look at us and they be like, new year, new bitch. But I was doing it for all the right reasons. I'm doing all of those things now. Like everything that I wanted to do last year, I'm doing now, but I'm doing it for me. It's the right reason. Last year, I was not doing it for the right reason. I was definitely doing it so I could like have people see I was glowing up, which like, it's like nobody cares, Dakota, nobody cares. Before I get into today's video though, we do have a sponsor. So I really quickly, I'm just going to share that with you guys. And then we're going to get back into the tea. I'll tell you guys all about my date. I'll tell you about this guy I dated last year that made me realize like I really needed to be single because he tried to ruin my life. Anyway, so take it away, Future Dakota. Before we get into today's video, I did really quickly want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Keen. It is an online platform where you can connect to a ton of astrologers, tarot readers, and so much more. If you click the link directly in my bio as a new Keen customer, you'll get your first 10-minute reading for only $1.99, which is over $99 worth of savings as a new Keen customer. Now, if you're new to Keen and have never tried it before, or if you just need a refresher, let me just go ahead and break it down for you. You'll create your username and your password. It takes literally 2 minutes. It is so easy and hassle-free. After you go ahead and create your account, you'll get connected with a ton of astrologers, tarot readers that's geared to your specific needs. For me personally, I always like to get a birth chart reading done because we don't only have one zodiac sign, we actually have 3, a sun and moon, and a rising, a Venus, a Mars. Girl, we got all the planets in there. So it's always good to get a birth chart reading. It gives you so much depth into who you are as a person, why you do the things that you do, things that you can improve on in the future, ways to get over the past. There's like so many things to do if you get a birth chart reading. I also like to get a tarot card reading at the end of every year, or sometimes like in the middle of year, just like as a refresher. I just got a tarot card reading done actually a month ago because my birthday is coming up and I really wanted to go ahead and get some insight on what 29 is going to look like for me, things to improve on, things to maybe leave in the past, which is also an amazing reason to get a reading as well. And I just love the convenience factor of Keen. You can really get a reading from anytime, anywhere. You can be home in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning wanting an answer to something, go ahead and call a tarot card reader. Or you could just be in between lunch breaks at work. It's so convenient. You could do it over the phone, over text message, no driving, no worrying about having to be at an appointment at a certain time, especially if you're like me. I'm a single mom. I don't really have a whole lot of time to be like making appointments and going places. Like I have very limited time, girl, so that's why Keen really does come in clutch. Keen advisors are dedicated to empowering lives, helping people get closure, discover answers to life's most pressing questions, which is why I really love the versatility of it. If you are with a reader and you don't exactly jazz or connect with them, you can go ahead and end the phone call and go pick another reader. Keen is the leading psychic network in the industry, and right now if you go ahead and click the link in my bio, you get your first 10-minute reading for only $1.99, less than a Starbucks coffee, okay? And that's over $99 worth of savings. Why not? You have nothing to lose. I really encourage that you guys do this because it's really just important to get insight on things that you are were wondering about. And just with this deal, I really think that it is a good opportunity. So Keen, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to give Keen a try, link is directly in the bio. And let's go ahead and get back into the video. So I told myself I was gonna do all these things, right? So October goes by, November goes by, and then December comes. So I already told a story time on this. It's called I Got Played Again and I'm Over It. I'll put, you know, a little card here and I'll put a little thing here if y'all want to go watch it. But I'll give you guys a quick, you know, rundown, because there's also so much that has, like, I've changed my mind in so many ways since talking to this person, and I realized truly how desperate I used to be. Like, I don't know, and I was just so like I've never been like bad at being alone. I've always actually been pretty good at being alone. I've never really had like any issues that like my friends have with like super codependency. Like, don't get me wrong, I had codependency, but not like as bad as like everybody else around me did. So I always thought that I was normal, and like it's not that like trust me, I've been single before. As you guys know, I've done 1.5 years of celibacy. Speaking now, present day, I've been single 1.5 years, like completely. But it's not that that's the problem. It's that when I get out of those bouts of being single, I'll go for a literal fucking loser. Like, what is wrong with me? I literally was celibate 1.5 years, 1.5 years, and then broke that to be with somebody who was literally a fucking loser, like a bum. And like, I'm not trying to talk bad about people. I know God says not to do that. But like, I'm just tired sometimes of being humble when it comes to the people I used to date, because y'all were bums. Like, all of them, but I mean, come on, like 80%. Like, literal fucking losers. And I just look back and I'm like, Dakota, what the fuck? Like, why did you do that? And I think people don't talk about that enough. It's really not about like, oh, because people always want to talk about people that can't be alone. And don't get me wrong, I think that there's an issue with that. But not enough people talk about how when you're single for like over 1 year and then you come out of that season of singleness, how it's so important to be careful about who you choose as the first person you start to date or get into a relationship or even talk to, for that matter, after that bout of being single. Because just because you're single for a long time does not mean you have self-worth, does not mean that you love yourself, does not mean that you have self-esteem, and does not mean that you've done the proper work to overcome your trauma, to not repeat the same mistakes. Like, sometimes we are single for years and years and years, and then we'll meet a guy and we'll be like, okay, copy and paste, like literally copy and paste all of my past situations, all my past traumas onto you, because I haven't done the work. Like, there is a literal difference between being single for 1 year intentionally, like I've been doing for the past year, which is like doing my inner child work, doing my shadow work, facing my demons, learning the toxic parts about myself and unlearning those and unraveling those, and really just like kind of feeling like shit for a while, because like just like going past those memories and healing, right? Like genuinely healing, versus I'm single for 1 year, but I'm still on Tinder, I'm still on Hinge, I'm still on Bumble, I'm still going out on dates, I'm still sleeping with men that don't do anything for me, don't even buy me fucking dinner. Like, guys, my idea of dating versus now is night and day. So let me just tell you real quick. So this guy in December DMs me, and I used to go to middle school, elementary school, and middle school with him, okay? We're just gonna call him Chad because he's a fucking loser. Loser with a capital L. He's very hot, I'll give him that. He has like a very nice body, 6-pack abs, like his body is fucking amazing, but he's a loser. And he's broke. Anyway, oh my god, please stop, Dakota. Stop throwing shade. Chad DMs me, and he was in my DMs for quite some time, actually. For quite some time, he was in my DMs. And I didn't really give him the time of day, because at this point in my life, I just was like, fuck men, anti-men, blah, 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 blah. Which, by the way, if you're like that, please stop doing that, because what happens is that your subconscious mind, not me being Joe Dispenza, your subconscious mind literally will believe every single thing that you feed to it. So if you're out here being like, men ain't shit, if you're listening to these podcasts where they're like, men ain't shit, blah, 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 your subconscious mind is like, I have no words. Maybe next time I should do this like before. Somebody commented and was like, oh my god, I can't stand when I hear makeup like this during someone's video. And I understand, but also like grow up. I feel like people like that are like people who hate the word moist. Like, what's wrong with the word? It's a word. There's worse words in the world. Like, Donald Trump is a fucking name, and y'all don't cringe when you hear that, but you cringe when I say this cake is moist. What's wrong with that? I don't like priorities. And listen, you know, I'm not judging you if you don't like that word. I'm also not judging you if you think that me clanking my makeup is annoying. But what I'm saying is that, like, some things are meant to stay in the brain. Some things are not meant to be said out loud, and some things are meant to just stay in here. Like, I will literally be scrolling on TikTok and I will like literally be hearing a story about how somebody said that they like took the biggest shit in the whole entire world, and I'm like, do you have a journal? Do you own a journal? Do you own a pen and paper? You don't even need a journal, girl. There's this thing called lined paper. You can actually get it for free at the library. I know. Mind blown, right? Write down your feelings and your thoughts. Not everything has to be shared with the internet. I really do love you guys, but sometimes I just be like, the hamster wheel is running and the hamster fucking fell off a long time ago. That or the hamster's fucking lost a leg. Oh my god, that ADHD evaluation cannot come up sooner, I swear to god. Subconscious mind will kind of like feed whatever you tell it. And so if you're sitting here listening to all these podcasts talk about how men ain't shit, if you're constantly telling yourself that men ain't shit, blah, 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 what's going to eventually happen, you're going to thoroughly and honestly believe that men ain't shit. And like, you're not going to attract men who aren't shit because, listen, I'm not a believer in that, and I'll be the first to say it. I'm not a believer. I know that people in the spiritual community are going to be like, what the fuck? But this is just how I feel, take it or leave it. You attract people from all walks of life. Good, bad, positive, negative, evil, not evil, whatever, cool, right? It's not about what you attract, okay? It's about what you let in. You are literally like the person that is at the door to like a hotel, you know, when they go and they like open the doors for you, like the concierge or whatever, and you walk into the hotel. That is you, and the hotel is like your space. It is like your sacred inner being, your inner knowing, and you are the concierge at the door opening it, right? If you come up, if you're a concierge and you're opening the door for people and you see somebody who has like a gun and they're a robber and they have like a mask over their face, you're not going to let them in because your body's going to be like, if you let them in, they're going to like kill you, right? If you see somebody walking in that has like flowers in their hands, right, and they look really cool and they're very smiley and they're very pleasant and they're positive, you're going to let them in because you're like, this is a good person. But what is the deciding factor? The deciding factor is your discernment, but it's also your body. So your body being in fight or flight, telling you not to let the robber in, is your body's discernment and way of telling you this person's not good for us, this person can cause harm. But the person walking in with flowers, it seems super nice, they don't give you that feeling because they're probably an okay person. You'll know that down the line, but right now your discernment's telling you don't let the robber in, let this person in. Now, this analogy can apply to your life. How many times have you been with a guy and you've known he's not good for you? There's major red flags. He's still living with his baby mother. He's still in contact with his ex. He's in and out of jail. He doesn't have a steady job, doesn't have a car, uses a fucking iPad to connect to Wi-Fi. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't got no phone, don't got no nothing. And we let... I have no fucking words, not even one. Don't let him in. Your body's telling you, no, 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 you deserve better. We've come too far to let in this bum. And you let him in anyway because you're like, I can change him. I can change him. I can move mountains. What's that song that's like, no. I don't fucking know. But anyway, like, you know, you think that you can change him. So you're like, oh no, I'm going to ignore my bodily intuition, even though it's literally God's fucking given talent to women to have intuition. But I'm going to ignore it because the dick is good. You know, we have good sex and I'm not going to find that in anybody else. And also his zodiac sign is compatible with mine. Bitch, no. Because you didn't even look up his birth chart. All you did was look up his sun sign. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars. Please, look up the big six. Fuck. Have I taught you nothing?
Jojo! Have you learned nothing?
Jojo, have you learned nothing? Just think of that analogy as your life, right? This time I was just like so anti-men and I was like, no, 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 like it's not happening. So I ignored him and I should have ignored him. But you know what? Then I wouldn't have learned. Like everything that I have gone through and put myself through has served a greater purpose because I get to teach other people like how to just like not make the mistakes I did, or if you did, just like don't feel as bad about yourself because we all freaking do it. Kind of keeps DMing me, and then on Christmas Eve he DM'd me, and at this time I was going through a lot. Like me and my dad weren't getting along at all. We were actually not even talking. Like last Christmas was probably the worst fucking Christmas in my whole entire life. you know, heartbroken over my ex. I just had a lot of issues going on. I was having financial, girl, I was a mess. Like literally, like life was kicking my ass. Like the Lord was testing me, and I didn't study. I didn't even read the fucking Spark Notes, nothing. You know what, this could be a nice distraction. So I start DMing him, and things are going off very, very well. We end up exchanging numbers. You know, he's already talking about how beautiful I am and how I'm like a 10 and how any guy that's ever had me and lost me is an idiot and how could they. I'm the full package. I'm smart, I'm educated, I have my own business, I have a beautiful daughter, like I'm stable, like literally just like fucking kissing my ass, okay? Kissing my ass. And I was falling for it. And if you guys don't know, deciphering if a man is a narcissist is, number one, he love bombs the fuck out of you, and he will tell you everything you want to hear, that you're the most magnificent girl in the world, and how can anybody ever cheat on you, or how could anybody ever leave you? Meanwhile, they're cheating on you at the same time as they're typing that. They're probably in the bitch's bed as they're typing that, literally. And next thing they'll do is they'll talk about kids with you. This man, like literally, like within the first week was like, I want to have, like literally was like talking about like having kids with me and how he wanted me to be like the mother of his child, and how like just girl, like, and I don't know, now looking back I'm just like, ew, it's fucking repulsive. But at the time, like, you know, because people, I've said this in so many videos, but people will say to me like, well, how do you not know you're being love bombed? Don't you think he's being too nice? If I was a man meeting me for the first time, I would get down on one knee within like 5 seconds, because like I am a full package. I am beautiful. I do have my head on straight. I am an amazing person. So yeah, like not for nothing, but I fucking believe that, because like, you know what I'm saying? But now I've learned that a man, when he really loves you, or a man when he really wants you, will actually take it pretty slow and won't even talk about anything sexual or anything with kids or anything like that for like a really long time. They will want to respect you and make you feel comfortable, and they will value you feeling comfortable and respected over what like they want, right? At the time I didn't see anything wrong with it, and that's why I'm saying I'm so happy that after the situation I took 1.5 years off to be single, because now my brain is just so rewired, and I feel like I'm so much better now because of it. And that's why I think I let in this person that I went on a date with, which I'll tell you about in a moment. Basically, long story short, ends up happening is we end up hanging out. You guys, he didn't even like take me out on a first date. He was saying all these things like, oh, I want to take you out, I want to take you out. And then was like, hey, I'll come up to your house tonight. We can just like drive around and talk and listen to music. I know most people would think, oh, well, that's a cute date. Lauren London and Nipsey did that. Yeah, Lauren London and Nipsey also have fucking millions of dollars, and they probably were riding around in like a Rolls Royce. I was riding around in a fucking Honda Civic. That's not a date. So we sat outside my house and we talked for a couple hours, and you know, he was really funny and charismatic, and he carried the conversation very well. And so naturally I was already picking out the colors of my bridesmaids' dresses.
Stop it. Get some help.
Which again, not fucking normal. How fast I used to fall for somebody without discernment is not normal. Like when you're dating somebody, you have no discernment to decide this is a healthy person versus this is not a healthy person, or that's a red flag, that's a green flag. When you don't have that, you should not be dating. Okay, so glad we had this conversation. My camera died. I'm not really sure where I left off at. Are we surprised? Probably not. But yeah, as I was saying, so we kind of like begin talking. You know, he comes to outside of my house, and we hang out. And I remember specifically, this was the day before New Year's Eve. So the next day I was going to Boston with some friends to go to this like speakeasy event for New Year's, which was so much freaking fun. And yeah, I ended up coming inside, and he FaceTimed me, and we ended up like falling asleep on FaceTime together. Oh my god, so freaking cute. I was just sprung. I was like, ooh, I found me a good one. Like, he's so attentive. He would text me back on time. He drove all the way to my house just to see me for a few hours. He asked me if I ate. He texted me good morning, which by the way, all of that stuff is bare minimum. Bare minimum. Just wait until you hear about this date I went on and how much fucking effort this guy put in. Every story has a happy ending, Dakota. I swear, one day, like when I'm married and or like my engagement video, like when I show y'all like the video of like my man, my future man, I don't have a man right now, but my you know, the guy I'm gonna marry proposing to me, I'm gonna like play this at the beginning of that video and be like, yo, every story has a happy ending. I have been through so much heartbreak, so much turmoil, so much chaos, so many horrible things. just to bring me to this moment, because I deserve it. Because you don't have to go through trauma your whole entire life or bad experiences with men your whole entire life. You can wake up one day and choose different. You can wake up one day and choose different. And it's hard to choose different because it's not comfortable. But growth does not come from comfort zones. Anyway, I'm like sprung. I'm thinking I got me a good one. He's so fine. His body is perfect. He's so good looking. Like, he's so nice to me. Yada, 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 yada. Okay? And like during this time when we were talking, he was like, yeah, you know, I only like talking to one person at once. I'm not that type of guy that be talking to multiple girls. Like,
That's suspicious.
you know, I'm like a one girl type of guy, and like all my exes have just broken my heart and taken advantage of me. Wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. Red flag, red flag, red flag on the motherfucking play. If a guy ever says that to you, please, oh my God, please do not fall for that. Please do not fall for the, oh, all my exes have hurt me and I'm just such a good guy and I don't understand why I've gotten hurt so much. Like this guy, the way that he used to talk about his ex, saying that she cheated on him, how she stomped on his heart, how she did all of these things, right? I look back and I'm like, what did you do to her? Because something ain't adding up. You're saying all these horrible things that she did to you. What did you do to her? Because he ended up screwing me over so bad. So I know for a fact, everything that he probably told me about her, he probably did. And that's another thing that a lot of men like to do too, is everything that they tell you about their ex or what another girl did to them is what they actually fucking did to them. It's a narcissism for me. It's the lack of accountability for me. It's a, you needed a therapist 3 days ago for me. Like, oh my God. As we're talking and time's going by, this is a very long story short, I end up seeing multiple red flags. Like I said, we used to fall asleep on like FaceTime together all the time. All of a sudden now, he like wasn't really calling me at night anymore. Wasn't calling me at all. Like our communication was mainly through text. And we still hung out and stuff, and you know, he seemed to be like extremely into me, but it just seemed like he wasn't as communicative before. I don't know if that's a word. And you know what's crazy is I use that word way more than I should for not even knowing if that's a word or not. Like, isn't that a little bit like, should I not be doing that? By the way, dollar store. You can get just about anything from the fucking dollar store. Yeah, I just noticed that we're not like communicating as much, and I bring up to him, I'm like, hey, like, you know, I feel like lately you've been not communicating as well, and like that's fine, like it's okay, like I get it, but I said, you know, that's important to me. Like communication is one of like my core things that I need when I'm like beginning to talk to somebody. So I was like, you know, if you feel like this ain't gonna work out, then that's fine. We could just end it right here and we could go our separate ways. Again, that was my body's way of trying to tell me, girl, listen to your intuition, but I didn't listen. I saw the signs. We don't talk about Bruno. I'm feeling like there's another girl. When there's this quote that says, when the conversations are getting shorter with you, they're getting long with someone else. And baby, they ain't never lie. When the conversations are getting shorter with you, it's because they are getting longer with somebody else. I have not only had this done to me, but have done it to like other people. Not on purpose, only if they deserve it. Like if I'm talking to a guy and I'm like, okay, no, like you're not giving me what I need. And I see somebody else here that will give me what I need. May the best motherfucking man win. Bye. You got booted to Waterboy. You are not the starring player anymore. Sorry. You were not the quarterback. You thought you was, but you weren't. So I'm just like feeling like there's either another girl or that something fishy is going on. So I kind of tell him, I'm like, yo, like, we should just put this to another time. Like maybe like in the future things will work out, whatever. And he's like,
No, please don't do that. Like, I want to be with you. I'm just going through a lot right now.
They're always going through a lot. Men are always going through a lot. You know who's also always going through a lot? Me. You also know who don't be hurting people? Me. So another red flag, ladies, don't fucking listen to that shit. I like the red flags that happened is there was one night where I was like, yo, like why do we not FaceTime anymore? Like that's mad weird. Like we used to FaceTime literally all the time, and all of a sudden now like it just never happens. This man said to me, and this is what I'm saying, I can't even blame him because he's just a piece of crap, right? Piece of craps are gonna be piece of craps, okay? Like garbage is garbage. Like if you go over to a garbage can, you can't go over to a garbage can and expect it to turn into a bouquet of fucking flowers. It's gonna be a garbage can. It's gonna stink. It's gonna be ugly. And it's never gonna change, right? So a piece of shit is a piece of shit, okay? But like, you are not a piece of shit, and you can decipher right then and there if you either want to have a garbage can your whole entire life or have a goddamn bouquet of flowers. So basically, I can't even blame him. I blame myself fully. I take accountability because all the red flags were there. I just didn't want to listen. So what ended up happening was he was like, oh, I don't have a long enough charger, because he had just moved to his uncle's at the time, and that's what he was going through at the time. And so he was like, oh, I don't have a long enough charger. I don't have a long enough charger so I could FaceTime you at night. So until I get a new charger, we're not going to be able to FaceTime at night anymore. If he wanted to, he would go out and get a new charger right now. Go to 7-Eleven down the street and get a new charger. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean a new charger? A new charger? You go to fucking Walmart and get a new charger. But no, he probably wanted to spend money on his stupid fucking vapes. Because he could afford the vapes, but he couldn't afford gas in his car. Anyway, we're getting to I shouldn't do story times when I'm on my period, because is this a story time? I don't know what type of video this is. I should not do story videos. I should not do videos when I have my period, because I'm Petty Betty. I'm Petty LaBelle. Petty LaBelle. He's like, no, like, I don't have a charger. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, that's fine. I'll wait for you to get a charger. Have some fun. Girl, get up. Have some self-respect, Dakota. What is wrong with you? Second thing that happened. I went out one night with my friends. Ended up meeting some more friends out at this bar called Center. I talk about it in so many of my story times. I don't know what was the obsession with Center Street Social back then, but it was hot and heavy. So I went to meet some of my friends at Center, and I realized that he stopped answering me at 11 and then texted me again at 2. What were you doing in that time? Everybody knows that he fucks you. Dakota, what is wrong with you, girl? He knows that when a man stops answering you at like 10, 11, and then miraculously can text you at 2, it's because he's cheating. And then listen, we were not in an official relationship, so I'm not going to call this cheating. But that's what Aubrey's dad used to do to me. So when me and Aubrey's dad were together, he used to go out, even though he claimed... I just realized that I really do be copying and pasting every single guy that I date. Not all of them. The relationship I got out of in October, he wasn't like that. I will say he was not like that at all. Adrian was, in a sense, kind of like this, but like not at the same time. I have dated some good guys, but a lot of the guys that I've been with, I just copy and paste. Wow, Dakota. Wow. Talk about growth and accountability. His dad, he would go out. Oh no, that's the powder side. Fuck. He would go out and he would like stop texting me at 11 and then would text me when he got home at like 1. And I'm like, why couldn't you text me when you were at the hookah bar? Like, I don't, what were you doing? Like, I'm not stupid. Listen, I always know what's going on. I'm not stupid. Like, I'm not stupid. I know what's going on, but I may just not act on it at that moment, because I think it's because I'm a Virgo rising. I need all evidence in order from start to finish, A to Z, color coordinated, labeled before I go off on you. I need all the facts, you know what I'm saying? I need all the facts. I think it's also my Libra moon, or maybe I'm just a fucking idiot. You guys decide. Sound off down below. Am I like this because of my astrology chart, or am I like this because I'm stupid? For real, like, I need all of the facts before I go off on you. So before I found out officially that Aubrey's dad, which is my daughter's dad if you're new here, was cheating on me, I had so much like inclinations, but I didn't have pure evidence until it ended up literally falling to me on my fucking doorstep. And then I was able to go to him and be like, yo, you literally can't lie because I have it right in front of you. And then he still tried to gaslight me and make me think that the reason why he was doing it was because I couldn't see him as much and that he was lonely. Be fucking for real. If you're lonely, go get a pet. Go get a cat, get a dog. You are a dog, so I understand why you don't want. You know what? This is what I'm talking about. I really should not be on here talking about these things when I have my period, because I'm not like this normally. Y'all know I'm always like, take the high road, namaste. I am half hood, half holy. Pray with me, don't play with me. I was out with my friends and he stopped answering me during this time frame, and I'm like, yo, like, what were you doing between this time and this time? And I'm like, do you have another girl? If you have another girl, just say it. You're gonna have to do more than just say it. You're gonna have to do less when you do it. Little mama, you know why I show it. You need to do more than you do it. God, somebody's walking by my window right now and they just heard me. I'm such an embarrassment to this family. I'm like, do you have a girl? If you have a girl, just fucking tell me. Because I was like, I know you already do. Like, you can just say it. And he's like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I already know who it is. I tried doing some reverse psychology because it has worked sometimes in my favor. Because guys sometimes can be really stupid, and like sometimes you could say to them like, yo, I already know. Like, I already know everything. You could just tell me. Like, she already DM'd me on Instagram. Like, you could just tell me. And sometimes they will freak out and they will like fully just tell you. I've done that so many times before. And other times they're like a little more seasoned when it comes to the narcissistic shit. And they'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about, leave me alone. So that in this situation it backfired and it totally didn't work, and he was like, he wasn't falling for it. So then the next morning, you know, we were talking more and more, and I was like, yo, you know what, like, I'm done. I was like, leave me alone, I'm done. I was like, you know, I already know you're talking to somebody else, just leave me alone, I'm done. And I was like, all right, whatever. But then, you know, my dumb ass ended up talking to him again. And what ended up happening was, there was one day, so he was at my house, right, when he left. And there was one day where he posted this like video of him at the gym, right? And he was lifting or whatever. Oh my God, this blush is just so fucking pretty. And I went to go comment on it because, like, you know, like, that's my baby. Like, he's so cute. And I go to comment on it. This is way too much. And some girl has already commented on it already. And she's got her little heart eye emojis. And she's like, oh, like, that's my man. Like, that's my man. And I'm gonna sit beside him. And I'm just confused because, like, my man is your man too. Like, you have 9 to 5 on the weekend, apparently. Because what the fuck? So I just knew. Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I knew. I literally knew, you guys. Like, I just knew that he was with another girl, and that's why he, like, the conversations were getting a lot shorter with us. He made up that whole thing about the charger. He didn't text me back during that time frame. There was other shit too that was just like fucking weird. Like, he used to like comment on my stuff all the time on like Instagram, and then he just like stopped out of nowhere one day. Like little things that you notice, like woman's intuition. And I had already tried confronting him and he said no, and then I tried leaving him, and then he like gaslit me into leaving him, being like, oh well, I'll just go myself. So I'm just like, I felt bad, so I started talking to him. You know what I'm saying? Just like, wow, I really do talk to the same guy, copy and paste every time. Do you know how many guys, like, I could name about probably like 4 or 5 off the top of my head right now, that whenever I've tried to break up with them, said they were gonna kill themselves? Why do y'all do that? If somebody does that to you, please just call the cops and have them do a wellness check, because then if something happens, at least you tried. But like, why do y'all do that? Ugh. I can't. It's the narcissism for me. I go to the girl's page and he never like commented. This looks so bad. Why does this look so bad? He never commented like anything on her profile, so I didn't think anything of it at first, but I was like, well, why is she commenting on his profile? Like, he didn't even really like her pictures like that. So I was like, is it just a friend? But like, I just was like, no, something's up. Something is fucking up. So I end up, y'all, I was just talking about this with my friend Tori yesterday. One thing about me, I don't believe in burner accounts. I don't believe in burner accounts. And do you want to know why? Because if your page is public, I'm going on there and I'm looking at your shit. I don't care if you swipe up and be like, who the fuck is Dakota Cross? I don't care. I really don't care. We don't care. Like, if your page is public, baby, it is public. Like, my snoop game is rated E for everybody. I will snoop on anybody. I don't care. I have no shame in it at all. None. So I look at her page, look at her story, and I see that she reposted it. The video of him lifting at the gym, she reposted it on her story. So I'm just like, okay, no. Like, it's one thing to comment, but it's another thing to repost. So I started going off on it because I already know. And I'm like, oh, it's funny how you say that you're not talking to anybody else and blah, 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 but yet what the fuck is this? And you guys, the whole time, this whole entire time, this girl that I'm talking about was living with her. Literally was living with her at her house every single night, to the point where he brought his game system there, was living with her and just basically bouncing between the two of us. Now at first, like when he first came to my house and we had our first date, that wasn't a fucking date, but when he sat outside my house and we talked for those 2 hours, he was not living with her. And apparently he had just met her about a month prior to that, but they were actively hanging out, actively sleeping together. And then he ended up moving in with her when he had to move in with his uncle, because I guess he wasn't supposed to be at his uncle's full time. He had like a situation with like his parents or something, and then he ended up moving to his uncle's house. And so that's fine, cool, whatever. But I guess he like wasn't supposed to be there long term, and I guess he wasn't like comfortable staying there, so he ended up just like moving in with this girl. But then on the side was still hanging out with me, still coming to my house, still talking to me, still being like, oh, I can't wait until I'm financially stable, I'm gonna get a place and you can come with me, like saying like all this stuff. And I'm just like, again, another red flag, talking about how he wanted me to be the mother of his child, blah 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 blah, like all of this stuff. But you're living with a whole other girl, you're calling her babe, you're cuddling up with her every single night, you're telling her all these things too. Like it was just like, what kind of piece of shit does that? So when I messaged him and confronted him, he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so I screenshotted it and he was like, just say her name was Cynthia. He's like, Cynthia? And I was like, yeah, Cynthia. Cynthia, she's a really cool dancer, Cynthia. Yeah, and he's like, Dakota, I like see her at my gym sometimes, but like, I don't know her. Like, we're not cool. We don't hang out. We're not friends. I don't know her. And see, one thing that guys will do too is they'll plead their case a little too much, to the point where you're like, yo, that's too much of an elaborate lie. Like, everybody knows when men are not lying, they'll be nonchalant. They'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're tripping. But when you have to be like, we're not friends, we're not cool, I only know her from my gym, blah, blah, blah. And then he had the nerve to be like, well, she has like a fitness page, and you know, sometimes we hype each other up. I do it with my friends all the time. So maybe she commented that because she wanted me to also comment back on hers and share hers to hype up her fitness. And I'm like, no, try again. Like that was a bad lie. Like try again, come again, because no, next. And he goes, well, maybe she was drunk or something, because like, why would she randomly like comment like a heart eye emoji? You know that face where it's like, with like, I'm gonna put it right here. He's like, why would she randomly comment that, but then not comment on any of my other pictures? Dakota, she's probably drunk. And like, I don't have control over that. I can't control if girls comment on my page. He's like, I'll go private if you want to. I'll go private. That way girls can't comment on my page. I'll delete her if you want to. And I'm just like, I just don't know like who you think I am, or like I was insulted. That's the main thing, is I was insulted because my intelligence was very insulted. I'm like, you really think I'm dumb? You really think I'm dumb? So long story short, me and the girl ended up getting in contact because I guess she saw that I was viewing her story, and she was like, hey, do I know you? And I was like, no, but how do you know so-and-so? And she's like, why does that matter? And I'm like, because we're like together. And I see that you're like reposting his stuff. And she's like, well, I don't know what you mean, because he's in my bed every night, so I don't know what you mean by all that. But she wasn't being rude or anything. She just was like, I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about? So anyway, we ended up exchanging screenshots. I already told the story. We ended up exchanging screenshots, blah, 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 cool. I ended up finding out that they've been together a little bit before we were. He was playing us both at the same time, cool. But the messed up part about it is that I allowed him to gaslight and manipulate me into thinking that the reason why he was acting this way was because of his trauma. And I thought maybe I could help him, because I'm just, at this time, you guys, I'm telling you. But anyway, so I ended up trying to kind of like help him. And then I realized that he was just narcissistic and he was a piece of crap and that he couldn't be helped. But basically I thought that they weren't together anymore, because me and her like ended up being cool for a little bit, but then we ended up not, because I found out that she was being weird. She was being mad weird. Like, we decided we were gonna be cool. Like, I liked the girl, she was really cool, but then she would talk shit about him, about the guy that was playing the both of us, Chad. She was talking shit about him, and she would be like, oh, like, I'm gonna kick him out, like, you know, I'm only holding on to him for a little bit longer because, like, you know, I'm having a hard time letting go, but I'm gonna kick him out, blah blah blah. I know this isn't the person for me, would come to me for advice, X, Y, and Z. But then she would send him messages that I sent her, and be like, oh my god, look what Dakota said to me today, she's so weird. Or she'd be like, oh my god, look, Dakota said, like, she would talk shit about him and I would join in on it because I didn't care at the time, because I'm like, you literally played the both of us and you think I'm stupid. So like you deserve for me to talk crap about you. And then she would delete the parts where she was talking crap and make it look like it was just me, and then screenshot it and send it to him. Like, she was just weird. So I was just like, hey, no, like, sorry, but weird bitch energy, you gotta go. Me and her stopped talking. I ended up deleting her off everything and blocking her off everything. And then me and him were still kind of like cool. We were like friends, because I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have been friends with him at all. He's a piece of crap. So what ended up happening was I thought I could help him, and he also like asked me for my help. Like, I literally remember I was like, you know what, I think it's best if we just like don't talk anymore and we're not friends. And he's like, no, Dakota, please, like, I need you. So of course I'm gonna think that he needs me. So I ended up staying. What ended up happening was I found out that him and her had still been together the whole time, even though he told me that they weren't. And I was done after that. I was just like, why are you still lying? Like, what is the need? And so I ended up basically dropping him after that. I was an idiot, and on my birthday this time last year, I got so drunk, you guys. Like, I literally, like, because like I said, I was going through the thing with my ex in October. I was a mess after that. I should have stayed single, but I ended up talking to this guy. We weren't like together. We were just like dating, I guess you could say. But it was only for like 3 weeks. It was like a 3-week thing. Like, I don't even fucking count him because no, he's a loser. But on my birthday, I got really, really drunk because I was going through that. I was going through a lot, you guys, and I was just using coping mechanisms that weren't the best. I wasn't using alcohol as a coping mechanism, but like on my birthday, I just used it as an excuse to black out, and I've never in my life been that drunk before. Sasha was like out that night, and Sasha, well, no, there's a difference between Sasha and Sasha 2.0. Sasha is my alter ego when like you try me, where it's like, if she feeling hot, I make a bitch frozen, I get a bitch tired every time that I pose. Like, that is Sasha. But Sasha 2.0 is blackout drunk, like, just no. And I put her to bed a long time ago. I put her in a little casket, February 2021, and she hasn't been out in a year. And we're not going to have her come out again. We're going to have her stay because she's not meant for the streets. She's meant for a psych ward. So I kept her in there. And what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So I got really, really drunk. And when me and him were like kind of still friends, this was before I knew that him and her were back together, I had him come to my house because I was so drunk and I was just so lonely, you guys. It was so bad. This is before I like healed, okay? Leave me alone. Don't say you never did it too. So I had him come over and we like hung out and whatever. And as he was like literally laying in my bed right there, I saw his phone start to kind of like blow up. And I remember I was like laying on him and I looked up at him and I was like, are you and Cynthia still together? Like, are you guys still living together? Are you still staying at her house? Because by the way, they weren't in a relationship either. He was just like tattling between the both of us. And I'm like, are you and Cynthia still like, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, get the fuck out of, I don't think I've ever thrown anybody out of my house that fast. Not even Adrian. I was like, get the fuck out of my house. You're a piece of shit. You're fucking disgraceful. Fucking disgraceful. You're disgusting. So after that, I officially cut him off, and that was that. That was basically it. I look back at him, and I look back at the type of men that I allowed into my life. I used to allow the type of men into my life. Not all the time, but when I was in like a stage, because like I said, I've had experiences with good men. I've been wined and dined. I've been taken out, whatever. But I've also, like, in my lonely stages of being single, have allowed men to come into my life, not even take me on a proper date, okay? Netflix and chill, cool. Not a lot of times, but sometimes. I'm just being open and honest. And not courted me, not properly treated me, started talking sexual within a week, started talking about kids and marriage within a week. And like, I just used to allow that. I used to allow these people who were like literally bums, had nothing to their name, mooched off everybody, try to mooch off of freaking me. Like, I used to like just like allow these men with like no credentials into my life. And I think at that time, and it's crazy because even after me and him stopped talking, like, I missed him. I was like, why couldn't it work out? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what do you fucking miss? You miss him texting you, telling you that he can't fill up his gas tank because he doesn't have any money. Like, he used to do that. He'd text me and be like, oh, like, I spent all my money on bills and I can't fill up my gas tank. And you want to know what I would say? I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, that sucks. Because Aubrey's father, I really do be dating the same men. Aubrey's father used to do that to me. I think like twice I helped him out with gas, and I was like, hold up, you're a man, you're supposed to protect, provide, and lead. why the fuck am I helping you fill up your gas tank? That's disgusting. So many men out here who want to be girls. They want to be treated like girls. They want to be courted. They want to be brought flowers. They want to have their gas tanks filled up. And they want to do, listen, I'm not saying that that's not okay sometimes, but like all the time. And it's like this guy I literally follow, who's Adrian's best friend, posted like a picture on Instagram and was like, I need a sugar mama. Like, what are websites for a sugar mama? It's like, boy, grow up. Like, you are supposed to protect, provide, and lead. Like, what happened? Get on to my date. So anyway, I look back and I'm like, Dakota, like, I feel so sorry for that version of myself, and it makes me want to cry, but I'm not going to cry because we have fresh makeup. It makes me want to cry because I'm like, why did you fucking put up with that? I hear so many stories from women who are like, I'm with this guy and he's never even taken me on a proper date, never even like, I got that drunk on my birthday. I woke up and I was like, yeah, no, like what we're about to do is not this, Dakota. Get your fucking shit together and get it together real quick. So what ends up happening is around this time, I got a new therapist anyway, because my former one was going on maternity leave, and she just suggested that, you know, I get a different one, and because she didn't know like what like her practice was going to look like when she came back. But also I just in my heart felt like it was time for me to get a new one anyway. Got a new one, and she kind of started to really open my eyes to a lot of things that were going on that were directly linked to my childhood, my self-worth. And I kind of just dedicated my past year and a half of my life to devoting myself to therapy, because the thing is that I used to be like afraid to tell my therapist certain things because I thought that she was going to judge me. Please don't do that, because therapy only works if you do. You hear so many people going to therapy and you look at them and you're like, well, why isn't it working? That's why it doesn't work. If you're not honest, like that's what I'll say about me and my YouTube channel is like, I come on here and I'm so honest. Like I'll tell you guys about like when I'm wrong. I'll tell you guys about when I do things that aren't right. Like this story is pretty embarrassing, but like it's not at the same time, because it's a pivotal moment in my self-worth journey because of what I'm about to tell you after I'm done with this. I swear we're getting there, girl. I'm so sorry. It's taking a long time. It's just, you know, backstory. But also, I just got you through like your hour-long cleaning session. I just got you through your hour-long crying session of your ex. So it's like, is it really a bad thing? Probably not. So anyway, please don't do that. Once I started to actually be honest like with my therapist about shit that was going on and honest with myself, was it easy? No, but it was so essential because I started seeing why I do the things that I do. Really started to just essentially grow up and unlearn a lot of shit that I used to think was normal. Like when a man love bombs me, I used to take that as validation, when in all actuality I should be validating myself. When a man gives me a compliment, sure, it's amazing and it's nice and I can feel good, but like I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't need that in order to feel okay, right? That's where codependency comes from. So this past year and a half, I've really been like working on myself, and I did a prayer. Everybody does a prayer, okay? Y'all know Sierra's prayer. Everybody does a prayer. And what I did was I recorded it, and I'm not going to share it, not yet at least, because it's pretty personal. But I did a prayer about every single thing that I wanted in a man. I sat back there in my office, because the other side of my room is the office, and I pulled up my iMovie, my photo booth in my iMac, and I sat there and I, for 30 minutes, said every single solitary thing that I want in a man, that I want in my husband in particular, right? So I said all of these things and I prayed to God and I said, you know, but what I'm going to do over this next year, God, is I'm going to work on myself. What I'm going to do is every single thing that I just told you I wanted in somebody, I'm going to do myself. I'm going to do for me. And I did that. Like, say if I wanted a man with a fit body, I started going to the gym. Say I wanted a man who was emotionally intelligent, I became emotionally intelligent. Like, every single thing that I wrote out that I wanted in somebody, I started doing those things. And I'm not gonna lie, during that time, I did lose hope a little bit. I was kind of just like, oh, like this man's, you know, God's playing with me, like what's going on? And I'm not gonna lie, during that time, I did have some offers from men. But I just remembered my promise to God, and I was like, nope, you gotta keep going, like you can't, like this is not the time to get into a relationship. So I hit my full year mark of being intentionally single of October of 2022. So one day I'm on Instagram. Well, it's funny because one day we were driving home, me and my friend Dana were driving home from Hershey Park, and we took our kids there, and we had to drop off her son at her baby father's house. So we pull up and she drops him off, and she comes out and she's like, I really think that she would like one of my baby father's friends. And I'm like, who? And she says the name, so let's just say his name is Anthony. She's like, Anthony. And I was like, I was so anti-men at the time, y'all. I was like, no. Like, I literally was just like, nope, nip it in the bud, whatever, right? So that was 7 months ago. Shut up. That was 7 months ago, you guys. Literally 7 months ago. And I didn't think anything of it. I completely left it alone. I was just like, no, like, I'm not ready. And I wasn't. I'm so happy that I didn't act on it at the time because I wasn't ready. So I let it go, whatever. Then one day, like 2 weeks ago, I'm outside and I'm checking my oil in my car, and I'm like putting air in my tires, whatever, and I get a friend request on Instagram, and I'm like, that name looks so familiar, that's so weird. So I go to the page and it's Anthony, and I'm like, is this the same Anthony that my friend told me about 7 months ago? So I send her a screenshot and I'm like, ain't this the guy that you told me about a long time ago? And she's like, oh my God, yeah, that's so weird. So I end up, you know, whatever, he adds me, I add him back, and then he waited a little bit and like randomly one day DM'd me. And like I said, I still at this time was so like, I don't know. So I left it on red for quite a bit, and then I answered, and then we talked for like a day, and then I didn't answer him for like a week. Like, it was like, no, it was like 4 days, maybe like 3 or 4 days, but something kept telling me to answer him back. I would like drive like to the end of the road, and I would hear God being like, answer him back, answer him back, answer him back. So I said to God, I was like, if he DMs me at 11:11 today, I will answer him. And he did. And I was like, okay, yeah, like, no, I can't fuck with that. Like, God's telling me, like, I have to. Like, when you ask for a sign and then you get it, you better act, good or bad. So I ended up answering him back, and then like 3 days go by, we exchange numbers, whatever. And long story short, he asked me out on a date. And you guys, when I say he asked me out on a date, it was answer these 4 questions. Tell me, you know, like, what time of day works best for you, what days work best for you. Do you like drinking coffee in the morning? Are you a breakfast person? Like, answer those 4 questions and leave the rest to me. Like, I'll plan everything on my own. That's it. And that's like one of the first times that that's ever happened to me, where someone's been like, it wasn't like, oh, well, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? It was like, I'm going to plan everything and you just have to show up. So I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to go out on a date with him. Like, whatever, cool. And you guys... This man is, and I don't know if it's gonna, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just enjoying my time right now. But he's one of the nicest guys I've ever talked to in my whole entire life. I feel very calm. Like, I don't feel those like super like crazy, like, oh my God, butterflies. Like, I feel calm, and I feel like okay and safe. He picked me up in my house. He lives a half an hour from me. Picked me up in my house. Took me an hour away to like a beautiful like salt cave. Like, he put so much time and effort, energy, and thought. It wasn't just like a fancy, because I've had those before. I've had like the fancy dinners. I've had this and that. He took his time to find something that he knew I would like. Like, you guys know I fucking love salt lamps. I have mine right over there. Like, he took me to like we basically like meditated together. He took me to like a salt cave. We were there for like an hour, and then we left, and then we had lunch in Niantic, which is like an hour away from here. It's in Connecticut still, but it's like an hour away, and it's like near like the water. And it was just such a beautiful day. We spent the whole entire day together. We got coffee before we took like a road trip, and he told me he wanted to take a road trip with me to get to know me better. And we just talked the whole entire time, and like we never run out of shit to talk about. He just is, I'm not gonna like do too much, y'all, but I say that to say this. He's one of the nicest men I've ever met in my whole entire life. He is that guy that you will write everything down on paper that you want. Like, everything in my prayer was him. Everything. Yeah, like literally every single solitary thing that I said in my prayer, it was like copy and paste. Like, I'm not gonna do too much, and y'all don't do too much, because I don't know. I'm just enjoying my time right now. We'll see what happens. He's like one of the most sincere, nicest men I've ever met in my whole, so respectful, like so fucking respectful. And just the fact like he came to my house, picked me up, drove an hour away, an hour back to drive me home, and then 30 minutes back to his house. That's like hours of driving, paid for everything, wouldn't let me pay for anything. Like, it's weird because normally when I start talking to somebody, I get butterflies, and don't get me wrong, I do, but not in the way I normally do, which is normally I think my body's way of telling me like, girl, no. But everything in my body, everything from God, everything, because I prayed to God and been like, am I distracting myself again? Is this one of those situations where I say I'm gonna stay single and then you bring me somebody and then you like I get screwed over, and like everything is just confirming for me to like keep moving forward. I'm just enjoying his time. I know he's enjoying mine, and I don't know. We'll see what happens, but regardless if anything happens or not, that date showed me that I can have every single thing I've ever wanted in a man. I just have to feel like I'm worth it. And I just have to use discernment to weed out what I want to allow in versus what I want to keep out. Like the doorman, the concierge, right? And for so long, I've just been letting in these like ancient men. These just men who are like bums and just don't have anything to offer me. And then I have this like amazing man who literally embodies everything I've ever wanted in someone. And I just never realized like that could happen. Like what? Like, I think for so long us women are told like, oh, well, you better stop being picky because then you're not gonna get married, you're not gonna have kids, or, you know, just settle with somebody because you don't want to be alone in your like, I am gonna be 29 at the end of this month, 29 years young, and I just now am learning to accept good men into my life. So what happens is like when you grow up in a chaotic environment, kind of like how I grew up in, your body is used to chaos. Your body is used to the fight or flight. Your body is used to the toxicity. And when you meet somebody who isn't those things, your body feels like, I don't personally feel this way, but I know a lot of people feel this way, like, oh, well, he's boring. There's no spark, there's no pizzazz. And it's like, girl, no, it's because there's no trauma, there's no toxicity, there's no red flag. That's a good thing. But your body doesn't understand that, right? It's like you downloading a new app to your phone, right? Like say you've only ever had Twitter and now you want to get rid of Twitter even though you love Twitter so much, it's just so toxic. Now you want to download Instagram. And now you're going to be on Instagram all the time instead of Twitter. Like, it's vastly different. And it's different in a good way. There's new features. There's new things that you can do. There's new people that you can meet. The app is so much better, but it's different. And it takes time to get used to. And listen, the type of woman that I was this time last year, if this man would have come into my life this time last year, I would have destroyed it. I would not have known how to... I would have not have known of how to have accepted a good man into my life. And that's my question to you today is, if a good man came into your life, would you know how to accept him? Would you know how to treat him? Would you know how to be with him? A lot of us sit here and we say we want good men so bad. We want good men so bad. But we're toxic. Or we have not yet unlearned these patterns in our life that keep allowing toxic men to come in. Not exactly attracting, but allowing. There are good men out there, but if you had one, would you even know what to do with it? Probably not, because girl, guess what? I didn't either. It's just everything in my life has fallen into place at the time that it has. My YouTube channel, if I had gotten it years ago, I would not have known what to do with it. The career opportunities I'm getting right now, if I had gotten them months ago, I would not have known what to do with them. This person that's coming into my life now, if I had gotten him a year ago, I would not have known what to have done with him. So in life, if you're in a place right now, like I was this time last year, where you just don't even want to be here anymore because everything sucks so bad, do the inner work. I'm telling you, it sucks so bad because you need to do the inner work. And sometimes you need to take a year off and just take a year to be like, oh my God, everything sucks. So you can work through those feelings and emotions to understand them better, to gain better things into your life for the future. I promise. And listen, like I said, even if this doesn't turn into anything and it's just an experience, I got shown that there are really good men out there, you guys. Really, really fucking good men. That will like court you and actually treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. Like, this is how I was supposed to be treated a long fucking time ago. But I didn't know it yet. And now I do. And now I know better. And that's why I'm here telling you guys, your life can really fucking change in a year. You just gotta do the work. You just have to do the work to get there. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm gonna leave it off here. I was gonna go like change and do my hair and stuff, but to be honest, I think I'm gonna go to the gym. They're gonna be like, who does this girl think she is? That bitch, okay? Get the fuck out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed getting ready with me today. Thank you for getting ready with me today. I hope you enjoyed this like story time slash life update slash reflection. I don't even know what I'm gonna call this. Is this a story time? I don't freaking know. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. The next time you will see me will be on Friday when we do our part 3 of the daycare series. And just thank you so much for supporting me, for loving me, for always being here for me. You guys really are my family. I call y'all my family, my best friends, because you quite literally are. Thank you just so much for showing up for me, but also for showing up for yourselves. Today's post notification shout out goes to Gabby Jackson. Gabby commented and said, I seriously love you so much. You really changed my life since February 14th, 2022. What the fuck? Wait, that's crazy because I'm literally sitting here talking about my experiences from this time last year. That's insane. That's also on Valentine's. Girl, if we ain't insane, what? Okay, I love you so much. You got me through a dark place. I'm currently going through it again, and watching your videos give me so much life. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna binge watch Coda today. Don't ever stop creating. You're a true inspiration for us young girl moms, especially the rawness, the homie vibes of your channel. Seriously, I tell my friends all the time, you need to go listen to Dakota. You literally feel like it's one of your best friends. Okay, I'm done. Oh my god, why am I crying? Oh my god, I can't do videos on my period anymore. I can't let these tears drip because this face looks too good. Oh my god, Gabby, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my god. You guys don't even understand when you comment things like this, or when you message me on Instagram things like this. There's sometimes where I'm having a really bad day, like mentally, or like February especially is such a rough month for me because I went through a really traumatic experience when I was 16, and every year around this year I get really depressed, and I've been able to not feel that way this year because of you guys, because of the support you give me, because of how much you guys just light my soul on fire. So Gabby, thank you so much. You don't know how much that, these are happy tears, I promise. You don't know how much that comment just meant to me. If God does not take me any further on this channel than he already has, I will be okay with that because of the community I have built with you guys. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about views. I don't care about money, even though this is my career. I care about how I make you guys feel. When I get comments like this, it makes me realize that I'm serving my purpose in this world. So thank you, Gabby. Thank you to you guys. If you want to be your pet next post notification shout out, all you have to do is just comment something. And if I like it, I will post it in my video. But you do have to make sure your post notifications are on as well. Otherwise, I will not be able to share the comment. But Gabby, thank you so much. And you guys, just thank you so much for being here for me. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, use condoms, don't let anybody's dusty, rusty, crusty, busty son get you in your feelings. Go do something today that pours yourself up. I'm gonna go to the gym after this. That is like my biggest form of self-care right now, is just working out. And I'm gonna try not to cry this makeup off. I probably will when I get off camera. But thank you guys so much. I love you. Go ahead and check out my personal development podcast. It's called Sis Let's Heal, available on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Google, Apple, everything. I actually did a story time for the first time on my podcast last week. So if y'all want a story time, it's an hour long, okay? Go listen to it on Sis Let's Heal. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, wherever the fuck you are. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Gabby, thank you so much.
Baby, I wonder, would you just put your sweats on me? Yeah. I got the plug, I made the call for me.